Today I'm going to be working on a 2010 Mini Cooper S convertible. The truth. We're going to be installing some like bumper lights. I think they're called parking lights, but these should have the Union jacks on them. You can kind of see it behind the film here. I'll remove that in just a second. Oh, there we go. Kind of see the Union jack in it, but they will be going right down here. This is the part number. I believe we got them off of Amazon. So they'll be replacing these little covers. If your Mini just has the regular lights, it's pretty much the same install. We're just replacing them with these little LED ones. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do, go ahead and pop these little covers out. It's got two tabs on each side, which kind of pop right out. I'm using the body trim tools to pop them out. And then you can just pull it right out. There it goes. I do have these little tabs on each side. They kind of hold it into place in here. You can go ahead and clean any dirt and debris out of there. If you do currently have a set of lights in there already, it's just got these two tabs. Typically we get them from the back side, you press them in, and then the whole light assembly should come out. You can unplug it from there. If your car already had lights on it, this is a pretty much plug and play kind of job. You're just gonna take off the back of this guy, which I'll show you here in just a second. Alright, you'll have to twist it and pull it out, but wires inside, these guys should plug right into your existing light bulb socket. And then you can just twist it in and remount it onto the car. Now if you're like me, I was trying to get these plugs to work, but I'm not getting 12 volts to the plug. So I'm gonna have to splice it in to these side markers here. They have little lights. So I'm gonna be tapping into that guy, running a hot wire over, and then plugging into the back of this, and then this will plug right in to my LED light here. So I got some leftover 16 gauge wire that I'm gonna use to splice in. So what I'm gonna do is I'll splice it into the side marker that's over there. I'm gonna run it up here, and I'm gonna tie it straight into the red on this side. And then the blue, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna splice it into the negative lead on the existing plug here. I'll show you how I'm gonna do all that in just a second when I go up underneath there. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put my little butt connectors on each one of these two. This is the one off of the new taillight. I'm gonna go ahead and crimp them down as well, just to have them secured and ready to go. That way when I run my new wires in, this is already ready. Go ahead and do yourself a favor, jack up the back of the car, secure it with some jack stands so you got plenty of room to work back here. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna strip back the electrical tape that's on here. Now I believe the brown is the ground wire, but I'm gonna double check it. I did the other side already and the brown was the ground. Here's the hole that we're gonna be putting our light in. The wire connector was wrapped up on this set of wires right here. So I just pulled it loose. It's just held on there by a little bit of tape, but then I just stuck it outside the hole so I could work with it. But when we go to take out this side marker, let's see if I can get my flashlight up in here. It is right there. Maybe if it's not too bright. Right there. That's what we're gonna be pulling out and splicing into the hot wire on that one. So I'll show you that in just a second. I'm gonna reach up there and pull that little light bulb out. Now that I've got the light bulb out, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect it from the plug. So you have to squeeze on this back part right here and then pull the socket for the light. So you can see on the plug there's a number 1 and a number 2. The number 1 slot is positive and the number 2 slot is negative, but it's always good to double check your own cars. So I'm going to strip back some of the electrical tape right here, and I'm going to cut the number 1 wire, and we're going to splice into that. Now that I got the insulation stripped back, I can see that my brown wire is my ground, so that means my black wire is my hot wire. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it, maybe about an inch or 2 into the wire. And then I'll strip back the insulation. I'm gonna put a splice in there. Now that I got both ends cut and stripped back of the insulation, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a red butt connector on the end of it. I'm just gonna put the single wire on this end, And then my splice wire, I'm gonna run in this end along with this guy. All right, now you can see my connection that I got done making. After you crimp these, I always like to give them a good tug. Make sure that they are on there pretty good. But I got the red and the black coming from the loom, going up into my crimp, and then from the crimp out, it goes to the plug where I'll be plugging the light back in. Now that I plugged the bulb back in, I'm gonna go ahead and route it back up into here and plug it back into its socket. Now that it's back in place, you got the wire running down. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a zip tie to connect the red wire to that black one, just kind of hold things in place. And then I'll probably throw another zip tie somewhere around here. Now that we got a couple zip ties slapped on there, we're gonna go ahead and start working on the other side of this hole. All right, now I'm just gonna cut the red one to be relatively the same length as our ground. And just give it a little bit excess. And go ahead and strip back the wire as well. That way we can connect it to our light connector here in just a second. Now we got our white connector from earlier. Our blue is gonna match up with the ground. I'll give that a crimp here in just a second. And our red obviously goes to red. Now ready to go ahead and attach our inner working of the light to our plug. Obviously red to red, we're gonna do black to blue, and it just kind of snaps right inside there. Now before we button everything up, I'm gonna go ahead and test it out, make sure it's working properly. I'm just gonna go ahead and take our little plug, find where it fits, and twist lock it back into place. There it goes. Along with making sure our new one works, we also want to make sure that our side marker still works as well. Now I'm just going to fish the wires through, and it's got two little tabs right here that will tilt the camera up some, snap right into place right over here. Again, if you already had the lights, it'd be the same tabs you take out, and then you're replacing with the Union Jack ones or whichever ones you like. But it just snaps into place, just like that. I'm just gonna be tucking those wires up to probably the rest of this loom up here, and just gonna zip tying it just so they're not all dangling around everywhere. They're more tucked up and out of the way. One final thing, don't forget to remove your jacks when you lower your car back down to the ground. Well, I hope this video helped. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try and answer them as soon as I can. If you like the music that was in the background of any of these videos, I'll put a link in the description to the artist's SoundCloud.